offensive line has been beat up. You mentioned to me before when we were talking as well. So it's kind of a double whammy for Lamar Jackson. Not only do you not have your receivers, you don't have your starting line.
Right, and it was really difficult for Trace McSorley and Tyler Huntley, as well as the Ravens' run game in the preseason game. Of course, Ronnie Stanley is not going to be participating in any preseason games. He did return to practice, but he is kind of the Ravens' one blue chip player on their offensive line, an all-pro in 2019 who suffered a broken ankle last year as he works his way back. And then you look at a slew of new offensive linemen. Bradley Bozeman, the only other player that started last year for the Ravens, well, he switches positions. He suffered an ankle injury as well as had a little bit of missed time about a week ago. So he suffers an ankle injury, so he's a little bit dinged up while making a positional switch. You want to see him get all the reps he can. Kevin Zeitler, a big free agent addition who AFC North opponents are very familiar with, and as well as Alejandro Villanueva, two additions there. Villanueva's been healthy, but Zeitler missed 2 weeks. He just came back to practice on Monday, so that's good news at least. Then Ben Cleveland, the Ravens' third-round pick, who created a ton of buzz throughout rookie OTAs and early on in camp, suffered a concussion last week, so he's been unable to practice as well. So the Ravens' starting offensive line in preseason games consists entirely of backups, and Alejandro Villanueva, who is also making a switch from left tackle to right tackle. So you'd love for him and Zeitler to be able to get continuity there and establish some chemistry, and they haven't really had the opportunity to do so as Zeitler missed 2 weeks. So hopefully the Ravens are able to get over some, hurt days and some, lightly injured times and get some continuity going. It is definitely, again, a silver lining for guys like Tyree Phillips and Patrick McCarry and Ben Powers and Ben Bredesen to get reps on top of reps. But at some point, you're going to need those starters to return so that you can get prepared for the regular season.
We touched on the surgery to Bateman, and that's a high pick. That is he's a really good player. Is there a timeline for him? Do they expect him to miss regular season games? Is there a chance he could be back for week one? You mentioned that he did have a surgery to his groin, so that's never good. But is there a chance he could be back for the regular season opener, or is that not likely?
I would say that the regular season opener would be a little more towards the optimistic side for him to come back from that, be able to practice fully, healthy. You trust it. He's a young player. You don't want him to sustain any sort of structural damage to that area while he's recovering from surgery. The Ravens haven't clarified whether it was an abductor injury versus a hernia. Those are essentially the two surgeries that could be involved with a groin injury. From what I've gathered, I've spoken to a couple gentlemen who are smarter than myself that have some doctorates of physical therapy and things like that, and there's kind of some different timelines about it, but it sounds like Rashad Bateman should be good to go by late September, early October, and hopefully the Ravens err on the side of caution to make sure that he's good to go when they need him in December and January.